This is the story of a journey. It's a journey driven by the desire to save lives. It's always driven us. It's what we're about and always will be. You know that. But not so long ago, we took a deep breath. And also a long, hard look at how we did things, just to see if we can do them better. Despite our excellent emergency response times, the cold hard figures revealed that even by the mid-90s, as many as 25 deaths a year were happening on Merseyside. Something had to change. As the millennium approached, the Fire Authority took the decision that would fundamentally change the focus of Merseyside Fire and Rescue Service, and in particular, change community fire safety forever. It established that operational firefighters, community firefighters, would lead the way.
Looking back now, it really was a turning point. But at the time, most of us were unsure what being a community firefighter was going to be about.
There was never any doubt that home fire safety checks were going to save lives. Firefighters have always been confident of turning out to incidents involving fire and road traffic accidents. But they were less confident in going to people's homes and talking about fire safety. It sounds strange, but that's the way it was then.
We started the most proactive community fire safety programme in the UK, a real commitment to visit 500,000 homes on Merseyside.
Since the year 2000, 400,000 home fire safety checks have been carried out across Merseyside. Over 500,000 smoke alarms have been fitted by the Fire and Rescue Service. And does it work? Well, back in 2000, 450 people were injured in the home in fires. By 2006, that was down to just 150. In the year 2000, 21 people tragically lost their lives in fires in the home. By 2006, that was down to 9. Those are quite remarkable reductions. But what else have we been doing to bring those figures down even further?
Well, in 2002, we initiated our Integrated Risk Management Planning, our IRMP. Some of it was radical stuff for the time, shifting funds from employing more firefighters to paying for community advocates. Recognition that we needed specialist help, we can reach those who needed us the most. The elderly, those with disability, and those for whom language was a barrier. This was targeted risk management in action.
So what if you can't hear the smoke alarm?
如果有朋友唔明白我哋嘅消防員講緊啲乜嘢，咁又點算呢？ What if people don't understand what our firefighters are saying?
We now employ more than 40 advocates, each in their own way targeting the key issues behind fire, death and injury.
Analysing the fire deaths and injuries on Merseyside produced stats that they simply could not ignore. Basically, they knew who was at risk and they just needed help in reaching them.
So successful were we at reaching the older, more vulnerable members of our community, we were the first service to be awarded Beacon status, services for older people.
Once we started getting out and about into our communities, we knew what the problems were. For years we've been plagued by hoax calls and rubbish fires, and firefighters were being attacked on a daily basis. It was time to tackle the root cause.
Young people, we knew, were by far the greatest cause of some of these problems. Therefore, it was natural we'd target resources in this area.
The job had never asked us to do things like this before, but our organisation's got the people and the skills to make a huge difference to young people's lives.
We've now got over 100 staff working with children and young people with the main aim of reducing fires, hoax calls and antisocial behaviour. But it's not just about that, it's also about keeping them safe and healthy and maybe showing them their way to a better future.
Is it all worthwhile? Is it working? I could give you stats about fires and Hopes calls coming down, but it's about people, not just numbers. We've got firefighters working with young people every day, and with the help of our partners, we keep their welfare at heart.
More proof of how successful we were with working with our younger people was demonstrated by us becoming the only fire and rescue service to be awarded beacon status for early intervention for children at risk. So since 1999, there's been a change in the way we look at the job, a change in what we feel we can contribute to our communities. The community firefighter is here, but there have been other changes.
But what about firefighting? The reason why we all joined in the first place?
Well, that was changing too.
So now we're nationally recognised as one of the best. And like our city, we've come a long way in a relatively short period of time, and it's not all been pain free. And maybe we've come even further than we planned way back in 1999. But there's a sense of momentum going in Merseyside that will take fire and rescue services into even newer territory again.
In 2006, we established the Threat Response Group, bringing together anti-terrorism work, arson work and firework misuse into one cohesive and dynamic team.
Later that year we formed the Antisocial Behaviour Task Force with Merseyside Police, a unique concept which is making a real difference to the communities of Merseyside and continues to do so today.
This is 21st century thinking from the UK's leading fire and rescue service, one that is listened to by a government that sees us extending and applying our skills in new ways to achieve safer and stronger communities. We're using data analysis in a very precise way to inform how we organise and allocate our resources, of course, but also to highlight those areas where we can try something radical. And so we're constantly trying new things, new approaches, different ways to reach our communities and to extend the skills of our teams. Our teams, listen, you don't get rated the best without having the best people. And for the future, that's where many of our ideas are coming from the ground up. It's our staff, our people and their ideas which are forming the future for Merseyside Fire and Rescue Service.